Hey everyone, I just wanted to stop by real quick for this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Klauser, let us say name, as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side. You know what's so funny? Like, this is supposed to be the take that I'm going to probably use, and this is probably the worst take out of all of them. I took like 80 of them.
I'm chillin' like a villain in a donut filling on penicillin, licking up the Boston cream filling, waiting to do some killing. Sometimes I sit down and look at life at a different angle, don't know if I'm God's child or from Satan's angel. I blow Kushkin on the pushkin with a bad little cute little Mexican.
Welcome to the John Show with your host, John Doogie Klauser.
All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? So we are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, this guy right here, your best friend in the entire world, your best amigo, John D. Klauser. What's going on, everyone? I hope you guys are doing swell. So what's so crazy about this week is that it is Friday night, the night that I normally shoot this podcast, but normally I don't shoot this until almost Saturday morning at like 12:15, 12:30 in the morning, and then, you know, that's usually when I shoot this. But I have to go do something right after this. It's like, what, 9:45, so I'm going to try to go and hang out with a couple of my friends, and we're going to finish watching the show Dope Sick. If you haven't watched it yet, it's on Hulu. It's streaming right now. It's a fucking great hour-long series. And it talks about the opioid crisis in the early, late 1990s and the early 2000s with oxycodone. It's fucking amazing. It is such a good fucking thing. And then the guy who he played Batman, Kevin Costner? No. God. Hold on. We're gonna have to figure this out. We're gonna get. Let's see here. Let's look. We're looking on here. We're gonna look it up and see the cast. The cast. We're gonna do cast. What's going on, everyone? It is Michael Keaton. Dude, Michael Keaton in this show is ridiculous. He is so good. You really believe his character because he's a doctor, and he went to Duke, and then he went to John Hopkins, and was like a professor there, and then he ended up moving to the Appalachian Mountain area because he found this woman and he got married, and he had a practice there. But then this whole thing happened, and he gets addicted to opiates. It's just really good. It's an amazing fucking thing. But there's so many characters involved, and the only thing I say is that at the beginning of it kind of jumps around a little bit. It goes from like 2002 back to like 96 to 2001 to like 88, and you're like, what the hell's going on? It's just it kind of does that really quick, and then after like episode 2, it kind of slows down with doing that. And you know, it's one thing I noticed. Hold on, watch this, guys. Hold on. See, the thing is, I'm gonna still talk loud, and you're still gonna be like, what's going on? Like, oh gosh, and you're gonna notice that I just put some lights on. Like, my voice is probably getting a lot like louder now. Back to the point thing. Okay, I forgot to put on the Christmas lights. Thanksgiving is next week. Can you guys fucking believe that? Thanksgiving is next week. And then after that is Christmas. Like, it's like that. This is so great about living in America. Because once like Halloween hits, it is just like rapid fire. Every month is another holiday. Boom, 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 boom. It's almost like how most of the Jewish religions are in the fall. And so the Jewish like celebrations are in the fall. So then you just like boom, boom, like every other week is like something different. And then like in Christianity, the whole thing is like every month from like October to the end of like January is just one continuous like boom, 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 boom holiday. And then like even like February, there's Valentine's Day again. Then March, April, May, June. Then July again is like the 4th of July. You know, it's a good time. It's great. I doubt there's anybody. I wonder if there's anybody who's foreign that watches this. It's like, let's watch the foreign guy who lives in America speak English and talk about foreign stuff. That sounds like a fun thing to watch. So I guess we should just probably just start the show. Like, I guess hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing swell. I have this week has been really weird. So I should probably start off with what happened earlier. Like this time last week, I was getting into the week. Normally on Saturday nights, I'd shoot the show. I shoot the show on Friday. Saturday nights, I usually go down to Kansas City and I hang out with a couple of my friends. End up like crashing down there because we end up like, having some drinks. I crashed over at a buddy's apartment. And then like I kind of hang out there for the weekend, and then I kind of come home on Monday, do my laundry, get all like I edit, do a lot of my filming stuff, and then that's it. That's mostly like that's kind of how my weekend is. So last Sunday, watching the Chiefs game, I was like halftime. I went to my car, and so I got to my car, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I looked and I saw that like the driver's side back window, the little square one. There's like the one that goes down, up and down, and there's always like a little square one. Well, on a CRV, that's what they have on them. That one got busted out, and I was like, fuck. And I'm like, shit, because like it's like, especially like those little things, like they're a little bit more expensive because it's like a specialty piece of glass, because it's like an odd shape. So it's not just a standard factory like window like that most cars have that are like, they're usually the same size, so it's a little bit easier. And so I'm like, fuck. And then I look and I see that the driver's side window had gotten busted open too. And I'm like, well, fuck. And so I was like, well, shit. I'm like, so in my head, I'm like, just thinking, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be out like probably like $400 or $500, I'm guessing right now. No big deal. I'm like, okay, this sucks. Wipe off all the glass, get all the glass out, and then just drive your car home and just be done with this thing and deal with this, and, just going to deal with this tomorrow. And then I try to like put my key into the ignition. I can't, because there's no ignition. They had ripped out, so the person who has broken into my car had then ripped out my ignition and literally tried to hot wire my car, but couldn't do it because they're too dumb. And you'll understand, like you might be like, John, but you shouldn't say that about someone who breaks into your car. But just wait. And I guess then at that point, I tried to like I couldn't. There's literally a giant ass hole where my ignition used to be. And then I see that like they open up the glove box and they had ripped open and looked through everything in the glove box, realized there's nothing there. They look, I'm assuming, I don't know if they go into the back of the car and see there's a back trunk part, but all they're going to find is like literally 5 milk crates, and they're going to have like jugs of water, gallon of water. 4 of them. There's like 4 gallons of water back there. That's it. That's all that's in my car. There's literally nothing to steal in my car. There's no change or anything that's worth stealing. And I was like, well, fuck. So I'm like, well, I can't drive my car because literally now my car is incapacitated because I can't turn the ignition on. And I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? So I call my buddy and I'm like, hey, you know what? It looks like I'm going to be spending the night again. So I wake up the next morning. I go back to my car. It's about like 9 a.m., right? I go to my car and I then see that my car had been like, it literally like moved like 40 feet. And I'm like, that's really weird because like I was walking up to it. I'm like, it looks like it's a lot farther away than it used to be. And I'm like, okay. And I walked up to it, and then I noticed, I walked all the way and I walked up to the front of it, and I noticed that there was this chain that was coming out and I should have pictures. I have pictures. I should be like, I'll show pictures here. I should. And so I saw this chain, and I looked down at my car, and I saw that like there was a chain wrapped around basically where the catalytic converter, the long tube, and then where your muffler is. There was a chain connected up because like if this is the catalytic converter, there was a chain wrapped around like right up here. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, are you serious? So these people literally tried to like drag my car, and I thought they were like trying to steal it. At first I was trying to think like, I'm like, oh, they're trying to steal it, and they didn't, and my car still had the parking brake on, so I assumed like, well, it's not going to move because of the parking brake, but then too, it's like not in neutral at all. It's in park, so the brakes, and so the tires aren't going to move. But then I look down, and when you look underneath the car, you see that the catalytic converter's still there. They stole the fucking muffler, which is like a $20 thing. So these people were so stupid. They broke into my car. They broke the back passenger window, the driver's side window, and then they tried to steal the catalytic converter, but they ended up stealing the muffler instead. And it's like, what the fuck? So now I'm at like 200,000, John, 2,200. 200,000. What kind of car do you have, John? What the hell what kind of car do you drive? A Bentley? Like, Jesus Christ, John. If there was anyone listening, they're like, huh? Like, what the fuck, John? But so I had to deal with that, and so now I've been driving around one of my parents, one of their cars, and you know, when you borrow a car from someone, you're always like super, super cautious, and you're like you're so stressed because you don't want to do anything crazy in their car and cause another thing. And so then there's another car out of commission. So it's a lot of that. This week has been a lot of just feeling like really anxious. And then today I called because I was supposed to get my car back today. And I called and they were like, oh, well, everything was good to go. We were ready to go. But then the steering column, because I had to get a brand new steering column because they ripped out the whole ignition, and because like there's wiring and everything that got fucked up, and it was insane. The things that they did to that car, it was insane. And so but when I called him today, the mechanic, he said that the steering column that they ordered didn't have a key to it. So they have to now they had to reorder a new one, because when you get a new steering column, the old key that you have doesn't work anymore, because it's not, that column is only connected to that key. So the key and the column are connected, and you calibrate them together. I don't know what they do, something like that. And then, so you can't have an old key and a new driver column, I guess. I don't know how it all works. It all doesn't make any sense to me. It's just, it's all, blah, blah, blah. I know how to change the oil in my car, and that's about it. And I know how to change like air filters. Like, everyone knows air filters are super easy. But, just simple stuff. I can replace, one of my headlights got busted out. That was because it hit a pole thing. Long story on that one. But anyway, so I had to get a whole new thing. And with the CRVs, it's literally this big fucking 10-pound thing of plastic, and you have to literally move it out. So you have to remove the bumper. And then I just didn't want to pay for all this. That was basically it. I was just so lazy. I just didn't want to pay for it. So I thought it was kind of cool thing to learn. I'm like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to learn how to replace something like this. And at the time, I should have just replaced the bumper too at the same time. It would have been, because the bumper was it was a plastic piece of plastic. It was $150, the bumper. But yeah, it was just, there was a lot of silliness. I really do like that CRV. So so I'm spending the money to get this thing fixed, and then I'm thinking about not even 6 months, 5 months from now, I'm gonna get a new car. It's about that time. It's always sad. It's sad for me because I get attached to these things. It's so weird for me. It's such a weird thing, and I think it has to do with a lot of the fact that being adopted, being abandoned, all that kind of stuff, and that I get attached. And even though this is an inanimate object, I'm still well, this is part of me. This is this thing helps me survive. So it's part of me too. It's like a horse. It's like a weird fucking, I have a weird, what's that movie? Black Stallion. I have a Black Stallion kind of thing with it. But yeah, how are you all? I don't know. but yeah, that's been my car stuff. Car stuff is great. Dealing with anything like that is such an amazing thing to do, especially when you have to lose money on something that like you didn't even do. It wasn't like I was driving and I hit a deer or I hit like a cow. I had a friend once who was driving out in the backwoods and hit a deer. I mean, not a deer, but hit a cow and killed the cow. Totaled their car. Yeah, like how the fuck did you not see a cow coming? And they're like, well, it just showed up. It was just like it just appeared. It's like, what the fuck? It's like it's nighttime. I'm like, no, dude, I don't understand how you don't see a cow and you hit the cow. But anyway, well, yeah, it was just it's been a weird week. It's been a really weird week, and then I'm gonna be moving. It's gonna be a fun thing to do. I'm gonna be moving to a new film studio. And it's just going to be, the rent is so much cheaper. And with that, the money I'm going to be able to be saving, I'm going to be able to buy a new car and be able to get some new cameras. And everything's going to get upgraded. And it's going to be a good time. The lighting's going to be better. The setting, the background is going to be a little bit better, I think. It's going to be it's going to be a weird room. The ceiling is lower. So that's the only weird thing about the whole situation. But besides that, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a great time. I don't know what else. What else do I have that's interesting? Nothing. Yeah, that's about like nothing else. Because this week was really weird. Because I didn't write much stuff down, so I didn't really want to. I didn't. Yeah, nothing was. There's not that much observation. But like I did say, I'm gonna be moving, so. Like this might be one of the last times you see the studio like this. So next week you might see it like all the stuff behind you all that stuff might be taken down. But that's it. Like I know I'm gonna start taking down all the side stuff over here, and I have some milk crates over here. That's funny how the whole milk crate stuff like came and gone. Yeah, like I still have all these milk crates still. And the thing is, like, I've had the milk crates way before the craze, and I'll have them way after this craze that happened. That was insane. Look at us now. Look at us where we are now. After the milk crates. We're months. We're like what, 6 months 6 months removed from the crate thing. Was that 6 months ago? When was, like... And y'all are probably like, what am I going to do with all these milk crates? You can turn them into shelving and use them. That's what I've done. And I also use them for film stuff. You can carry a lot of shit with them. Film stuff. So, I have 11 and a half minutes left. Or 11, or about 10 minutes left. So I want to try to give myself enough time where I can go through all of this week's football stuff. Because, like, I give myself 5 minutes, and clearly that's nowhere enough time to do anything. So for anyone who doesn't like sports stuff, well, I'm sorry, but we're going to talk about all the teams that are going to be playing this week. Okay, let's see here. So yesterday was Thursday Night Football, and the Patriots played against the Falcons, which ended up being like, what, I think 28-0 or no 35-0 or something like that. It was a complete absolute blowout. It wasn't. I assume that because like the Falcons, they don't have their running back who's like they're also the return guy who's also a wide receiver. He's like their all guy. He's like their all purpose person, and he was injured. So I didn't assume that it was going to be that competitive of game, and New England's, even if they don't have Tom Brady, they're still a very competitive team. They're still going to get really far. It's funny because, like, what's his name? Colin Cowherd was like, there's no reason not to say that the Patriots versus the Buccaneers couldn't happen this year. It's like, well, the Buccaneers really need to step up their fucking defense, and Antonio Brown needs to stop. May or may not have, I don't know, it's all alleged still, may or may not have a fake COVID card. Let me talk about something. There's a lot of things that fake. The COVID card, I guess it's so insane. That's so absurd if that's a real thing, if that's a real story. It's an absurd story. Why would you ever need to do something like that? I understand. I can't even think because it's a felony. Like there's no way of arguing this on his side. Like you just can't do it because it's a fucking felony. Because like it's like, hey, you do this, you might, and you get caught, you're gonna become a felon. It's like, all right, well, guess what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that. So we'll just move on. Well, anyway, I love. Okay, so let's go on. I guess we should talk about this week's picks. So let's start from the top. So Green Bay versus the Vikings. I believe this is a divisional game. I'm going to say Packers will win by they're going to win by 14. Even though Kirk Cousins, I saw a stat today. Kirk Cousins, I think he has like 16 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. Something crazy like that. It's like, but no one cares because it's Kirk Cousins. That's what the meme said. It's like, you know what's funny? Kirk Cousins has like 16 or 12 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. But no one cares because it's Kirk Cousins, and it's a fucking truth because no one cares that it's Kirk Cousins. No one, I think, even Vikings fans are like half the time are like fucking Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is a very consistent quarterback. He's a very good B+ quarterback. He will get you. He's really good between the 20s. So I heard this old saying before: quarterbacks that won't fuck up, and they have a really good head on their shoulders. You know that term that they say, like he has a good head on his shoulders. He doesn't cause mistakes. He won't be the reason why you lose games. Basically what they're saying is they're a quarterback between the 20s. So that means they can get you to the red zone, but they can't score with you. So it's a lot of field goals, and that's basically what Kirk Cousins is a lot of. So next game, Lions versus Browns. I am so excited about this game because my luster for the Browns has slightly tarnished a little bit just because of all the bullshit that's been going on, and the fact that they're really showing you as a Browns organization like what they feel about Baker Mayfield, because it is the truth. Like they do not give him a lot of responsibilities versus someone like Lamar Jackson, who has so much more responsibilities. And granted, like Lamar Jackson has better feet and stuff like that, but besides that, like, when the game's on line, you can give Lamar the ball and you can trust him with it. Or even like if you want to be super cliche and say Patrick Mahomes, someone like that, there's this ability of being able to, like, you give him the ball, 9 times out of 10 there's going to be maybe some fluke thing that happens, and like that will cause Patrick to lose the game. But most overall, like he's gonna get you there, and he's gonna keep you there at every chance. With Baker Mayfield, it's a very up and down thing. He's very inconsistent. He was, as a quarterback, it's all about judgment. You have to understand. You have to know, like, okay, I need to either run, I need to pass it, or I need to throw it to this guy. There's all these things you have to be able to have great judgment on. And the thing is, like, he didn't even have great judgment in college. He fucking ran from a cop and got caught. So, like, what do you expect if you can't escape a cop as like a Division I athlete? How do you expect to be able to duck and dive past NFL defenders? It's just one of those things. But I'm gonna say I'm Browns, especially because Baker Mayfield's injured. I'm gonna say, so funny. Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna say Lions 13, Browns 10. Browns are gonna pull a Browns move, and Lions are going to get their first win this year off of them. So, yeah, 13-10 Lions. Next game, Titans versus Texans. Oh, this is going to be a blowout. I'm going to say Texans by 2 touchdowns, so 28-10. I don't think even Texans are going to score 2 touchdowns. Next game, Dolphins versus Jets. I believe this is a divisional game, and I'm going to say Dolphins by a field goal because Jets are just awful, but Jets will be in it because Dolphins like to play down to their competition most of the time. Next game, the Bengals versus Raiders. God, and the Raiders shit just keeps on coming and coming. So, was it the Diggs guy? He got released, and they released their wide receiver, the first round wide receiver. It's like, dude, you guys basically didn't even do any drafting this year. Like, because you've released both your players. But I'm going to say, in Burrow's playing good. I'm going to say Raiders will keep this close. Let's say 28-24. Yeah, 28-24 Bengals. Next game, Cardinals versus Seahawks. See, the thing is, like, I'm going to assume that the Vegas is going to choose Cardinals because Cardinals has a better record and they've just overall shown that they are just a better team. And also Wilson is injured. And, well, he's injured, and last week he played his first week back after the injury, and he had an injury, and he just wasn't. He didn't look good. And if you don't know about the injury, he had a pin in his finger. He basically, I think he fractured the joint in his one of the fingers in his throwing hand. I think the middle finger or the ring finger in his throwing hand. I'm going to say Cardinals will win this by 3. It's going to be close just because if Wilson's playing, you're going to at least have a chance. You're going to have a chance, and plus, I have a feeling that the Seahawks are going to make the Cardinals play more their kind of style, that more slow kind of style. So I'm going to say Cardinals will win 21-14. 21-14, but it'll be close. It'll be like a last touchdown within the last game. It'll be like a 2-minute drive. Okay, so next game will be the Giants versus the Buccaneers. This should just be a complete blowout. Buccaneers will win by like 3 touchdowns. I don't see this being competitive whatsoever at all. So it's gonna be like 28-7. Yeah, what, 28-7? Yeah, something like that. Close. I mean, not even close. Next game, Steelers versus Chargers. This should be good because these teams are basically the same team in retrospect. Man, that's gonna be close. That's the evening game too, isn't it? Oh man, that's gonna be really good. Herbert. Oh, I get to watch Herbert play, and then I don't know if Ben's gonna be back because he was on the COVID protocol. I believe. I think he had COVID. Pretty sure he had COVID. I'm going to say Steelers will win by 3. It's going to be an overtime. And I can't believe the Steelers fucking tied with the goddamn Lions last week. That's an effing insane. It's insane that happened. Next game. Ooh. This is going to be the game of the week. I really do feel like this is the game of the week. It's the Cowboys versus the Chiefs at Arrowhead. At Jiha at Arrowhead. Or Jiha at Arrowhead. Whatever the fuck it's called. So I'm thinking a lot of people it's going to be a close game. I honestly really do think that all the Chiefs need to do is stop them twice. If they can stop them twice, I think it's going to fuck them enough. And if they can score at least one time out of the 2, they can, it'll give them enough cushion where they can be able to slowly push away. So I think the final score is going to be, and I'm going to be probably the only one that says this, I'm going to say 35, Chiefs 35, Cowboys 21. Next game, Saints versus Eagles. I really don't give 2 fucks about either one of these teams. I don't like the Saints because I think they're a bunch of bitches. I really think they bitch a lot about. And now, granted, when they played against the Rams a couple years ago, in the NFC Championship, they go to the Super Bowl. Then the Rams end up losing against the Patriots that year. I do get that thing. That what should have been a pass interference. I can't believe they didn't call that shit. Like, referees love to throw pass interference calls. They love to throw it on anybody, on any team. And the fact that they didn't throw it when they had that chance that game blows my mind too. Blows my mind. But this game, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people. I think it's going to be pretty close because Hurts isn't bad. He just plays for not the greatest of teams. So I'm going to say Saints 14. Eagles 7. We'll do that. Next game, 49ers versus Jacksonville. So 49ers just came off of like a big win against the Rams, which are on their bye week this week. I'm going to say this is going to be a little bit closer than people think. I'm going to say like 19-14 49ers. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be a little bit closer. The 49ers are going to still win the game, but it's going to be not as big of a gap as you think. Next game. Oh shit! I only have like okay. Well, I have like less than okay. So I have like 2 more teams left. Yeah, 3 more teams left. Okay, so Washington versus Panthers. Washington will probably win because they'll win 14-10. Next game, Colts Bills. Bills will probably win this one 21-14. It's be close. Last game will be Ravens versus Bears, which I don't give a fuck about either team. I think Bears will probably win this one. It'll be like 10-7. It'll be something stupid like that. Anyway, guys, so I have like 15 seconds left. So I'm going to say like, comment, and subscribe if you've gotten this far. Thank you so much for watching. It's like 10:15. I can't believe I got this episode done. It's over with. All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys on the next episode. All right. Bye.